What's up, court nerds? Time to get served. It's your boy Phil, and ooh, do we have a doozy out of Wyandotte. All you're gonna say throughout this clip is, who? What? Where? How? And the most important, why? So without further ado, let's roll, nerds.
Detective Sergeant, your name, please, and if you can please state and spell your first and last name.
Detective Sergeant Ken Groat, Kengroat.
All right, and I'm going to have you please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this matter to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And you may proceed on the warrant.
On Saturday, April 29, 2023, approximately 8:38 a.m., Wyandotte officers were dispatched to Wilson Middle School located at 1275 15th Street in the city of Wyandotte for people having sex in the park. Officers arrived and had contact with the defendant and a juvenile, a 14-year-old juvenile. Approximately 20 minutes later, about 9 o'clock in the morning, Officer Carpole saw individuals in the area of 15th and Answine, where she saw the male urinating on the garage. When Officer Carpole spoke with the 14-year-old juvenile male, the officers located a female, later identified as the defendant, Roa. When asked about her name, Roa lied to officers and gave a fake name, date of birth, making herself 16 years old. After further questioning, officers learned Roa's true identity, and she was arrested for fraudulent schemes and disguises. There's also found a water bottle which contained alcohol on her person. Detective Sable contacted the juvenile's mother, came to the police station, and agreed to let her son be interviewed. During the interview with Detective Sable, he smelled alcohol come from the juvenile's breath, and he stated he was drinking and smoking a vape with the defendant. The juvenile told Detective Sable that the defendant performed oral sex on him, and then they had unprotected sex in the middle of the baseball field at Wilson School. A recorded interview under Miranda with the defendant, she admitted to providing alcohol and a vape pen to the juvenile. She had also admitted to performing oral sex and having unprotected sexual intercourse with the juvenile, and he also performed oral sex on her. And this incident happened in the middle of the baseball field, approximately 8 o'clock in the morning at Wilson School.
Okay, upon examination of complaining witness, there's probable cause to believe the offenses occurred, but there's probable cause to believe the defendant committed those offenses. Counsel, your appearance, please.
Attorney Corey Westmoreland, appearing on behalf of Ms. Roa. Ms. Roa, would you please state your name for the record?
Jerica Rose.
All right, thank you. And counsel, as to the arraignment.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, we are prepared to waive a formal reading, and my client stands mute.
All right, the court will waive the formal reading. Ma'am, you have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will appoint one to represent you. And in fact, you've had an opportunity to speak to an attorney today, correct?
Correct.
All right, you have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury. You also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing may be used against you in court. Do you understand those rights, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, the court's going to enter plea of not guilty, and you may schedule this matter for probable cause conference on May 11th at 8:40 a.m. Counsel asked to bond, and then I'll give the detective sergeant an opportunity to respond.
Yes, Your Honor. I would like you to know that Ms. Roa is a resident of Southgate. She is starting a new job this week as a dental assistant. She's not currently on probation or parole. I don't believe she has any prior criminal history. She has no pending cases out of any other court. After speaking with her, she did assure me that she would be appearing at all future court dates. She does not have any history of absconding from any honorable court. And if she was tested today, she would have marijuana and alcohol potentially in her system.
All right, thank you. And Detective Sergeant Groat?
Your Honor, we're not sure where Ms. Roa stays. Her lien shows she has an address in Rockwood. She told us she might stay in Garden City. Now I'm here in Southgate. We're not quite sure where she stays. We feel she poses a threat to society. We'll ask for $100,000 cash with the GPS tether.
All right, ma'am, where is it that you reside?
I reside in Rockwood and sometimes in Southgate with my ex's mom. My ID is actually an old ID, and the Garden City address is from a former address.
Okay, so how long has it been since you resided in Garden City?
About a year.
And why haven't you changed your address on your ID?
Because I don't pay any, like, actual bills, and I have nothing that actually can verify my address at the moment.
Well, that's part of the concern that the court may have.
Oh, I understand.
How long have you lived in Rockwood?
For the most part of 4 months, 5 months.
And who lives there with you?
My ex-boyfriend.
So your ex-boyfriend allowed you to stay there?
For the time being, until I can get this job that I am supposed to start this week. And I'm supposed to be moving out in a couple months.
And then your ex-boyfriend's mom allows you to stay with her in Southgate?
Yes, every now and then.
And this job that you're supposed to be starting, is it, would you be working with children?
No.
No, not at all.
No.
And when did you last work, ma'am?
Back in February, March time was the last time at Captain Jay's out in Taylor. Since then, my boss at Captain Jay's hasn't put me on the schedule, so I've been looking for new work.
Have you ever failed to appear in court for any reason?
Could you repeat that?
Have you ever failed to appear in court for any reason?
No.
And so you're obligated to pay rent. Who do you pay rent to? The ex-boyfriend or the ex-boyfriend's mom?
The ex-boyfriend.
And how are you paying rent if you are not employed?
As of right now, I'm not paying rent, but when I was paying rent, I was employed. The last time I paid rent was actually with bits and pieces of what I got back from my state taxes.
So where did you live in between Garden City and Rockwood? Did you ever live in Garden City for a year and you've only been in Rockwood for about 4 months?
It was with my ex-boyfriend at his last place of residence out in Taylor. And that's when I started the job at Captain Jay's. And then when he moved to Rockwood, I ended up going with his mom so that I could still kind of remain semi-close to Captain Jay's so that I could actually get to and from work. And then when I would stay out with him in Rockwood, he would take me to work.
So you don't have a vehicle or a valid license?
No, ma'am.
And yet somehow you were in Wyandotte.
Yes, because I was actually hanging out with essentially my ex-boyfriend's daughter at his mom's. And originally she wasn't drinking, but I'm pretty sure my idiot self when I was drinking ended up getting her some, and that's actually how everything started.
Mr. Westmoreland, is the alleged victim in this matter friend with this daughter that your client is speaking of?
I don't know the nature of how Ms. Roa came in contact with the individual.
Is this individual, ma'am, a friend of your ex-boyfriend's daughter?
Yes. As far as I know, because when we ended, she wanted to meet up with one of her friends, and so we left, and she didn't want to go by herself, so I went with her. And that's how I ended up meeting the boy, and then she ended up ditching me for the friend that came with him.
And do you have any children of your own, ma'am?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
3.
And how old are your children?
My youngest is about to be 6, my daughter is about to be 11, and my oldest is about to be 12.
Okay, and so where do they reside?
With my mother and my stepfather in Taylor.
And is that by court order?
Yes.
And is that through the Third Circuit Court Family Division or Juvenile Division?
I believe the Third Circuit, if I remember right.
No, I understand the Third Circuit. Is it the Juvenile Division with CPS involved? Were you down at Lincoln Hall of Justice, or were you at the City County building?
The City County building. It was by my own, I willingly gave them to my parents because I'm not able to support them or anything, obviously.
Okay, so was that through the probate court? There's a guardianship?
Yes, there's a guardianship.
And do you see your children on a regular basis?
No, I haven't seen them for quite some time because of my stepdad. We were at disagreements at one point.
You don't see your children because of your stepdad. What does that mean?
Well, because at one point we had an arrangement as to, like, I can come see my kids and I would pay a certain amount. And then my stepdad decided to up the amount without telling me and without going through the courts. So I decided just to leave everything alone and try and work on myself and getting my situation better, and that hasn't helped very much.
So when's the last time you saw your children, ma'am?
About 2019, the end of 2019, beginning of 2020.
You haven't seen your children for 3.5 years?
Yes.
All right. The court's going to indicate, based upon the lack of stable residence for Ms. Rowe, the danger that she poses to society, the court's going to indicate a $250,000 cash bond. No surety, no 10%. In the event you post bond, you are not to be released without GPS and alcohol test. You're not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this matter, not to have any contact. And let me just be very clear: phone contact, text message, email, social media, third party, anything of the like. You're not to enter the premises at his home. You're not to enter the premises at any school. Specifically Wilson Middle School. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. And you're not to have any contact with any minor children. And since you have any contact with your children in 3.5 years, that shouldn't be an issue. All right, anything else, counsel?
Not this time, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good day. All right, we're gonna be off the record. And counsel, do you need to, are you ready on Ms. Barbaro?
I can't believe what I just watched. Guys, I'm speechless. For the first time, my big Jersey mouth is speechless. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, set your notifications to all so you never miss these amazing clips. I'm your boy Phil, and you've been served.